Okay, so good morning to you. We are basically continuing the radiation heat transfer part. Okay, so in the last session, we have studied the different properties of surface. Okay, we have also studied the laws of radiation, that is Stefan Boltzmann law, then Kirchhoff's law, then Wien's displacement law, and Planck's law. Okay, so in this session, we are basically interested to learn the Lambert's cosine law, or and we are interested to learn the shape factor. Okay, so let us begin with the Lambert's cosine law and its applications. Okay, now if you consider one plate that I have shown by hatched line. Okay, so as you know that every surface emits radiation in all direction. Okay, now and that radiation, you know that we learn one term, that is intensity of radiation. Okay, so the since this radiant energy is emitted in all directions. Okay, so intensity of radiation that I have noted with letter I. Okay, and if it is radiating or emitting exactly perpendicular to this surface, so that I have represented at a intensity of radiation in the normal direction. It is perpendicular to the surface. Okay, so according to the Lambert's cosine law, intensity of radiation, that is I, is directly in any direction. Okay, is in any direction is proportional to the cosine of the angle made by that direction with the normal. Okay, so beta is basically the angle made by that radiation I. Okay, and in, which is the intensity of radiation in normal direction. Okay, so I is basically directly proportional to the cos beta. I is basically the directly proportional to cos beta, and that constant of proportionality is known as a intensity of radiation in normal direction to the surface. Okay, and this intensity of radiation normal to the surface, which is which one is maximum. Okay, so in short, I is basically equal to in cos beta. Beta is basically the angle made, cosine of the angle made by that direction with the normal. Okay, for example, I have considered this particular radiation. Okay, or you can say it is has been emitted from the surface. Okay, so this I have represented by the I. So I need to take the angle from this particular direction to the normal. So this much angle that I have to measure. Okay, so according to Lambert cosine rule, I is basically equal to in cos beta. I is the intensity of radiation in any direction. In is the intensity of radiation in the normal direction, and cos beta, beta is basically the angle made by that intensity of radiation with respect to normal. Have you understood this? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay. Huh. Now we are basically interested to frame the relationship between emissive power and the normal intensity. Okay. So in the last session we saw that intensity of radiation, that is I, is equal to dE upon d omega. So dE is basically, E is basically the emissive power and omega is the solid angle. Okay. So I is equal to dE upon dW. So we can write this dE is equal to I into d omega. So this is simply the relationship between emissive power, intensity of radiation I, and solid angle. Okay. So from Lambert's principle, as we have just now we have stated, that is I is equal to in cos beta. I is equal to in cos beta. So if you substitute this thing here, so we can write this in some other way. We have to substitute I is equal to in cos beta here. So you will get dE equal to in cos beta d omega. Okay, that I have written here. But since I have to determine the emissive power, I have to determine the emissive power, and it is a differentiation. It is basically the differentiation of this emissive power, and I want E from this. So it is necessary to integrate this for that hemisphere. Okay. So if I integrate this for that hemisphere, integration of dE, which is equal to integration of, I have substituted I with in cos beta. Okay. So our relationship was like this. That is obtained from this equation. That is I is equal to dE upon d omega. So dE is equal to I into d omega. Okay. And so I have substituted I with in cos beta here, and simply I have integrated because I am interested in the emissive power and I have the differentiation here. So in order to get the E, so I have integrated this. That's all. Okay. Now using the definition of solid angle, it can be shown that for a unit hemisphere, okay, we can write d omega is equal to 2 pi sine beta d beta. Okay. So this 2 pi sine beta d beta that I have substituted here. Instead of d omega, I have written this here. Okay. And I have simply integrated this from beta is equal to 0 to beta is equal to 90 degree. So here angle beta is varies from 0 at this particular surface, and 90 degree means it is a normal. Okay. So that's why I have integrated from 0 to 90 degree, that is 0 to pi by 2. Okay. When I integrate this thing, okay, then I'll get this as a this particular integration, and when I substitute this thing, then I'll get the E is equal to pi into in. E is equal to pi into in. So what is E here? What is E? Can anybody tell? Yes. What is?
Emissive power.
Yes, E is the emissive power. What is in? In means,
Intensity in normal direction.
At
yes,
normal
it is
direction.
intensity of radiation in normal direction. Intensity of radiation in normal direction. So in short, what we did here, we have make the relationship between emissive power and the intensity of radiation in the normal direction. Understood? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as you know that intensity of radiation in normal direction, which is maximum, correct? Which is maximum. And as we know that emissive power of a black body is also maximum. Emissive power of a black body is also maximum. Yes, correct?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes.
So that's why I have written, since in is replaced with this EB, because emissive power of a black body, which is also maximum, and intensity of radiation in normal direction is also maximum. So in short, we have obtained the relationship between emissive power of any surface, or you can say it is a diffuse surface, okay, or non-black surface. Okay, E is equal to pi times EB, where EB stands for it is the emissive power of a black body or the black surface. Have you understood? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Any difficulty here?
No, sir.
Lambert
No.
cosine rule. So what is application of this Lambert cosine rule? As generally we know the emissive power of a black body. Okay. And from that you can determine the emissive power of any diffuse surface, or you can say it is a real surface. Understood? So none of the surface that is exists on the earth, okay, that is basically a perfectly black. We are basically treating that surface as a black. Okay. The reason is that we are making certain assumptions in order to make our life comfortable. Okay. So next part or the next topic, that is shape factor. This is very important factor in the radiation. Okay. So my hand is visible or not? Yes. Hello.
Visible, sir.
Visible. Okay, very good. So I have the two surfaces here. This is surface 1 and this is another surface. Okay. Now, if this particular surface is radiating certain energy or it is emitting certain energy, one surface, if the energy emitted by one surface, out of that, how much amount of energy get directly intercepted by the other surface? Suppose Q1 is basically emitted by this surface. Q1 is emitted by this surface. Out of this Q1, how much is directly intercepted by the other surface? Suppose it is Q2. Q2 is directly intercepted by the other surface, whereas Q1 is the emitted. So the shape factor is basically the ratio of Q2 upon Q1. Q1 is energy emitted by one surface, and Q2 is energy which is directly intercepted by the other surface. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So shape factor, it is defined as the fraction of energy emitted by one surface. Out of that, how much is directly intercepted by the other surface? Okay. So Q2 upon Q1, that is known as a shape factor. It is also known as a view factor. It is also known as a configuration factor or the angle factor, because here angle is playing important role. If these two surfaces I can keep like this, I can keep like this also. Okay, there are number of options. You can change the orientation of these two surface, and if you change the orientation of the surface, you will get the different shape factor. Okay, so since the shape factor is depends on the angle, so it is also known, it is also depends on the at which plane you have basically placed the surfaces, what is the configuration of the two surfaces. Okay, and as it depends on this view, configuration and the angle, so it is also known as the view factor, configuration factor or angle factor. Okay, so I am coming to our experimental setup where we have carried out virtually the measurement of emissivity of a test surface, where I kept the two plates like this. Correct? We have kept the, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
So where I
Yes.
kept the two surfaces like this, that was having a two circular plates. Okay, and these two plates are basically placed in the one plane. That is kept in the one plane, and at that time I told that the shape factor for this particular surfaces in between two surfaces, it is basically 0. Why it is 0? Because these are kept in the same plane. Whatever the radiations emitted by this particular surface, it will not intercepted by this surface since it is arranged in the single plane. Okay, so intentionally in that experimental setup, we have kept the two surfaces in the same plane in order to achieve the shape factor is equal to 0. If and because of that the calculation uh, become easy for determination of the emissivity. Got it? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So significance, I just now explain significance of shape factor. It is basically the fraction of energy emitted by one surface and directly intercepted by the other surface. It depends on the shape, it depends on the size, it depends on the orientation, and it also depends on the distance between them. Okay, distance between the two surfaces, size of the surface, and the shape of the surface. So it basically depends on the geometrical parameters of the surface. That's why it is known as a shape factor. Got it? Yes. Huh.
Yes.
So the importance of the shape factor from the radiation point of view is that, as you know, that radiation is a surface phenomena. Okay, and there are n number of surfaces are available surrounding to us. Okay, and there is a exchange of energy, radiant energy takes place continuously. Okay, so whenever we are basically interested to determine the radiant energy exchange in between the two surfaces. For example, we have the Earth surface, we have the Sun surface. Sun surface is maintained at a temperature something around 5800 Kelvin. Okay, and Earth surface, we are receiving the solar energy from the Earth surface. That is basically the radiant energy. That is basically the radiant energy, and these two surfaces that are kept having a huge distance between the two surfaces. Okay, so when we are interested to determine the radiant energy which is basically emitted by the sun surface or received by the earth surface, so we need to consider that two surfaces only, where we have to determine the net energy exchange because of radiation or the radiant energy. Understood? Yes.
Yes,
Ah.
sir.
So here basically we need to consider these particular surfaces which are basically interested for our study. Otherwise, there are a lot of surfaces are there, and there is a continuous exchange of the radiant energy takes place. Okay, but as far as possible, we have to basically select the surfaces where we want to determine the radiant energy heat exchange. Coming to another example of oven, or we can say furnace. Okay, so in furnace basically we are using that furnace to raise the temperature of the some metallic part where we want to do some heat treatment. Okay, and which is having some 700, 800, or up to 1000 degrees Celsius temperature. Okay, depends on uh, the structure we want. Okay, uh, depends on the properties of that metallic surfaces we want, or the metallic bodies we want. Okay, so uh, since it is maintained at some 700 or 800 degrees Celsius, and there is of course there is a insulation is provided. Okay, and when we are standing in front of that furnace, okay, with some 5 feet or the 10 feet away from that surface, still we are feeling the warming. Okay, so this is basically the exchange of the radiant energy from that oven surface or the furnace surface to our body. It doesn't mean that our body is not radiating energy. Our body is also radiating energy, that oven is also radiating energy. We are basically interested, but who will emit more energy? Of course the oven or the furnace will emit more energy because it is maintained at a higher temperature. Okay, and when we consider the two bodies now in this particular application, that is human body and the furnace, okay, or the oven, so we need to determine the net energy exchange between the two body. Understood? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Now coming to the different laws, or we can say the different uh, what we can say laws of this shape factor. Okay, that is basically giving the certain relationship. Okay, so first uh, law of shape factor, which is a reciprocal relationship, or we can say reciprocity theorem. This is also known as the reciprocity theorem. Okay. Now we have the two surfaces. These two surfaces are having a area A1 and A2. Okay. And F stands for it is a shape factor. F stands for it is a shape factor. And if I write a F12, it means that it is a shape factor of surface 1 with respect to surface 2. F12 stands for shape factor of surface 1 with respect to surface 2. Similarly, if I write a F21, so it is the shape factor of surface 2 with respect to 1. Understood? So now, if I write a shape factor of surface 1 to 2, so if Q1 is the energy emitted by the surface, out of that, Q2 is basically directly intercepted by the other surface. So obviously, F12 become Q2 upon Q1, whereas F21, where the surface 2 has emitted the energy, and surface 1 has basically that out of that how much is directly intercepted, that is q1. So here I need to write q1 upon q2. Understood? So according to the reciprocity theorem, if we have the two surfaces having the area A1 and A2, and the shape factors are 1 with respect to 2 is F12 and 2 with respect to 1 is F21. So according to reciprocity theorem, A1 F11 F, A1 F12 is equal to A2 F21. A2 F21. Okay. So why this theorem is basically useful to us? This theorem is basically useful to us to determine the net energy exchange. Net energy exchange because of radiation, or we can say the radiant energy exchange between the two surfaces. For that purpose, we should know this shape factor. If we know the value of shape factor, then and then we can write, we can determine the net energy exchange. Of course, we will see this part while solving the numericals on the shape factor. Up till now, it is okay. Yes. Reciprocity theorem. Any difficulty?
Yes, sir.
Any difficulty? Yes?
No, sir.
No. Okay. So, dependence of the shape factor. Just now I told the shape factor depends on the shape and size of the surface, because area is important. Area is depends on the shape and size. Okay. Orientation of the surfaces, how we have arranged that. We have arranged in the same plane or in the different plane, or makes a certain angle 45 degree, 25 degree, okay, between the two surfaces. That are basically uh, this orientation or the angle made between the two surfaces that decides the value of the shape factor. Another thing is that we have kept the distance between the two surfaces, which is smaller one, larger one. Okay, so that distance between the two surfaces that are also decides the value of the shape factor. Understood? Yes. Yes or no? Hello.
Yes.
Now,
Yes, sir.
yes. Now the next theorem, okay, which is a enclosure theorem. Next theorem, which is a enclosure theorem. Now, suppose the n number of surfaces that our experimental setup, there is a enclosure, and in that enclosure we have the two circular plates. Okay, so in this particular application we can apply this enclosure theorem. Means we have a enclosure, and in that enclosure we have the number of surfaces, or we can say the n surfaces. Okay, and each surface is maintained at a different temperature. Okay, and each surface will exchange radiant energy with the remaining surface. As I told that every surface emits the radiation. Okay, so we are basically interested in the net exchange of the radiant energy between the two surfaces or the more than two surfaces. Okay, now according to the enclosure theorem, if you have the n number of surfaces, if you have the n number of surfaces, okay, and out of that one surface is basically emitting the radiation. One surface, here I have considered one is basically emitting the radiation. For example, this one is basically emitting the radiation, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to n are the basically number of surfaces. Okay, so according to the enclosure theorem, F11 plus F12 plus F13 up to F1n has to be equal to 1. Has to be equal to 1. Now, one here interesting thing that I want to explain you. If I write a F11, what it stands for? F11. Yes, who will tell?
Shape factor with respect to. Mm. One surface.
Yes, can you repeat this?
Shape factor of the first surface with respect to first
What does,
surface.
what it tells actually? What it tells? What it tells? It tells that amount of energy emitted by surface 1. Okay. Out of that, some of the energy or the fraction of energy is directly intercepted by on the itself. Directly intercepted by the itself. स्वतःवरतीच. Whatever amount of energy is basically emitted, out of that, fraction is basically directly intercepted on itself. Okay. And there is a possibility of this. There is a possibility that whatever we are emitting, out of that, some of the energy or the fraction of the energy is directly intercepted on itself. That basically it indicates. One, to indicate that amount of energy emitted by one surface or surface 1, which is directly intercepted by the surface 2. Here directly intercepted by the surface 3. Okay. So here we can write this F12 as a Q2 upon Q1, F13 as a Q3 upon Q1, and here if you have a number of surfaces, we can write that like this. And that has to be equal to 1 according to the enclosure theorem. Understood?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now why it is equal to 1? Can anybody tell? Why it is equal to 1?
Sir,
Yes.
absorptivity, reflectivity and transmittivity यांची समेशन 1 असते.
That is okay, but this right hand side, why it equal to 1? See, if you have a n number of surfaces in the enclosure, there is a energy exchange takes place. This equation I have written for the one surface 1 with respect to remaining surface. This I have written for surface 2 with respect to other surfaces. Okay, correct? Now what happens within that enclosure? There is a direct interception of this energy. Okay, and overall, if you see this, if you take a summation of these two, okay, for example, here, if I write as a Q2 upon Q1, here I write a Q3 upon Q1, likewise, I write as a Qn upon Q1. If you take, so here my denominator is Q1, and if I take the addition of this Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 like that, okay, if you take addition of this, that will be equal to Q1, because whatever energy emitted by Q1, fraction of that is basically directly intercepted by on surface 2, fraction is intercepted on 3, fraction get intercepted on 4, and if you take the summation of this Q2, Q3, Q4 like that, that summation is basically equal to Q1. And if you take that numerator, if your numerator and denominator is equal, so obviously which is equal to 1. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? What about remaining students? Have you understood what I am telling you? Enclosure theorem? Yes or no? Hello? Remaining students, I explained the shape factor and the I am now explaining the laws of shape factor. Are you getting or not? Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Huh. Okay. Okay, let us explain now the shape factor of a surface with respect to the other. Okay. Suppose we have a flat and the convex surface. We have a flat and convex surface. Then in that case, shape factor of that surface with respect to other surface, that is equal to 0. Why it is equal to 0? Because amount of energy emitted by that surface, that will not intercepted on other surfaces, because that surface is flat and the convex. But if you have a concave surface, then this will not equal to 0. This will not equal to 0. Okay. So it is necessary to see whether it is a concave surface or the convex surface, or which is a flat surface. Accordingly, we have to determine the shape factor of that surface with respect to the other surface. For what purpose it is required? It is basically required to determine the net radiant energy exchange between the two surfaces. Okay. One more law that I am going to explain here. Now, if we have the three surfaces, okay, surface 1, okay, and surface 2, and if I divide that surface 2, in the two surfaces like 3 and 4, where the A2, that is area of surface 2, which is equal to area of surface 3, that is A3 plus A4. If I have a surface 2 which is having a area 2, and if I divide that area into two parts, that is A3 and A4. Got it? Yes? Hello?
Yes, sir.
See, initially I have only two surfaces, surface 1 and surface 2. I have the two surfaces, surface 1 and surface 2. Okay. Now what I did here, the surface 2 that I have basically divided into the two parts, which is having a area A3 and A4. Okay, surface 2 पासूनच आपण दोन एरिया निर्माण केले, that is A3 and A4. So A12 F12, which is equal to, according to the summation theorem, F12 is equal to F13 plus F14. That is shape factor of 1 with respect to 2 has to be equal to 1 shape factor 1 with respect to 3 plus shape factor 1 with respect to 4. The reason is that A2 is equal to A3 plus A4. A2 is equal to A3 plus A4. So surface 3 and surface 4 is basically we got from surface 2. Understood? Yes?
Yes, sir.
But reverse is not possible. Reverse is not possible. Reason is that reverse is not possible, because here we have considered 1 as a emitter and 2, 3 and 4 that are basically directly intercepted on that surface. We can say it is a receiver. Okay. So here we cannot write like this. That is 3, 1. If you write as a 3, 1, means here your emitter is 3. Here your emitter is 4. Okay. So the reverse is not possible according to the summation theorem. Understood? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we will quickly revise the topics that we have learned in this session. Okay. We have learned the Lambert's cosine rule. Can anybody tell what it states or what it tells? Lambert's cosine rule. Yes. We will quickly revise this thing, then we will conclude this session. Lambert's cosine rule. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Who will tell?
Intensity of radiation in any direction is
Hmm.
directly proportional to cosine of angle made
Hmm.
by that intensity of radiation with normal.
Yes, correct. So I is equal to in cos beta. According to Lambert's cosine rule, I is equal to in cos beta. So what do you mean by in? Aditya
So IN
Sodu.
is
Intensity of radiation in normal direction.
Yes, intensity of radiation in normal direction. Correct. Okay, so now I'll tell the name. He has to give the answer basically. Okay. Yes, Darshan Salunke. Are you in meeting? Darshan? Yes. Darshan Salunke. Okay. Yashwant Salunke. Yashwant. Yashwant Salunke. Those who are not responding. Okay. Any problem in the net connection? Yes. Yashwant. Okay. Kajal Shinde. Kajal. Hello. Rohit Shinde. हेलो मैं
Yes, sir.
ऑडिबल हाँ हाँ
सर नेट प्रॉब्लम है वीआई का प्रॉब्लम है
हाँ ओके ओके काजल यू टेल मी व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय शेप फैक्टर यस व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय शेप फैक्टर मैं ऑडिबल टू यू यस यस और नो रोहित शिरोडे
yes sir, yes sir.
okay so what do you mean by shape factor yes who will tell what do you mean by shape factor
Yes, sir.
yes tell shape factor means what
The amount of heat radiated by one surface directly intercepted by another surface.
yes fraction of energy emitted by one surface which is directly intercepted by the other surface that is known as shape factor okay okay so I'm stopping this